Now, to our dedicated viewers, which I'm sure all of you are, you will recall that last week we conducted an in-depth interview with John Banks. Now, in the second part of Darpin, we pick up where we left off. So to conclude the interview, let's cross over to John Banks.
The city is looking for leadership. The government has a role in our lives, and they've taken more money this year than they need in taxes. Why would I borrow money to build grandstands at Eden Park when the government has 2,600 million in a piggy bank surplus this year? Why would I go out and borrow money on the backs of your children and grandchildren when the government has all of this cash?
Have you elicited the views emanating from the government? Are there any indications to that effect?
Well, the government knows me very well. The Prime Minister and I are friends. There is no problem here.
That's a decision, of course, for a council, not for one individual. But, of course, Auckland stands to benefit hugely from having the Rugby World Cup, and it's a bit odd not to want to make any contribution. So, obviously, there'll be discussion with Auckland, and Auckland will no doubt have representations of the rugby community. Everyone wants Rugby World Cup 2011 to be an outstanding success, and I would hope that our Queen City, Auckland City Council, would be endeavouring to help with that.
I'm not going to pay any more money than I have to because I've got to clean up the beaches. The beaches have raw sewage pumped onto them. I've got to clean up the wastewater. I've got to spend money on rail, economic infrastructure, bases, buses, transport. I've got to spend a lot of money, ratepayers' money, on other things. Now, we've got the government with a huge cash surplus, and we've got a very rich and powerful rugby union. So I want to see the colour of their money. To date, I've seen no money. The only money being talked about is your money, ratepayers' money. I want to see someone else's money.
So far, the Prime Minister is refusing to be drawn into the controversy.
Of course. Well, that's her business. I'm not going to worry about it. The business at Auckland City is not dictated by the Prime Minister or the Labour government. If the Prime Minister wants to talk to me, she picks up the phone and we can talk to each other. We're friends, so there's no issue around this. But I'm not getting excited about Eden Park. I'm just getting over the big loss of getting out in the quarterfinals in Paris a couple of weeks ago. I can't get excited over Eden Park at this time.
Now, what about the metro water issue? Is it on the table for fixing it up as it is perceived in the minds of the public as a cash cow?
The cash cow has been milked to death, and we're burying the cash cow. It's all over for the cash cow. Indian community treat cows very religiously with a lot of respect, and so do I. It's a cash cow. It's not going to be milked anymore to prop up bad spending. Water money should be used for water. We will use any profits from the water to fix up the separation and clean up the beaches.
Now, what is the difference in John Banks of today to that of yesterday?
Much older and much wiser. This is my 12th election I've been through. 33 years in public life. You've got to learn from your defeats. You must learn from your losses. If you don't learn from your defeats and your losses, you learn nothing. So the people last time said, I went too fast on too many things, and it ended up being quite scary. Eastern Transport Corridor across Hobson Bay, V8 supercar race around the streets of Auckland. The people said, no, we don't want that. So that's been the difference. This time, we need to listen more. We need to consult. But we also need to make decisions, and we need decisive leadership. Strong leadership is what's needed.
Strong leadership coupled with consensus.
Consensus and consultation. Talking to people, taking people with us. Last time, we moved too quickly on a broad front, and many of the plans were derailed. This time, we listen more, we consult more, but we make strong leadership decisions to move Auckland forward with affordable progress. Not wild and reckless, unaccountable, secret spending. Those days are over. Showing off, big noting like there's no tomorrow, spending up large with your money, being reckless with your family's checkbook is finished. It's all over. We need value for money. We need a concentration on core services. We need good outcomes, consultation, and decisive leadership.
Finally, your thoughts on the emerging issue of one Auckland Council, one Auckland City, one entity, the super city?
I think it's got a lot of merit. We have to listen to what the people think. What I think is not so important. It's what you think and your families think that's very important. And we need to go out and consult. The Royal Commission is being set up, separate from the Auckland City Council. They will do that work. I think 8 councils, 7 mayors, 8 bureaucracies, 8 chief executives, 6,000 bureaucrats, 323 elected people is a nonsense. Brisbane, the same size as Auckland, 1 mayor, 25 councillors, 1 bureaucracy, 1 chief executive, and on every count is doing better than Auckland.
Next week.
The trouble with the TSA is that it's more appropriate for the security environments of Turkey or Pakistan than it is New Zealand.
Up in the Mirror on satellite, cable and terrestrial network.
So New Zealand, that was my 30 minutes. We had 2 fantastic interviews and we wrapped them up. Now in saying that, I would love to hear what you guys have to think about it all. Your positives, your negatives, your gripes and your praises. Mail us at info@teamworkproductions.co.nz. Now if I just sped along that, it's info@teamworkproductions.co.nz. Now in my famous quote, well, things are said, things are done. But in the famous words of Robert Frost, we have promises to keep, but miles and miles to go before we sleep. I was Javed Khan. This is Up in the Mirror. To the stars and beyond, my friends, ka kite anō, and see you soon.